Yeah, so good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to refresh you up with a little change in the topic. It's not going to be a simple tool, it's going to be a very complex tool here. But to achieve simplicity, it's going to be a roll up as a service tool. Now, roll ups in L2s and L3s and app chains, they're everywhere. We are beyond L1s. Scaling has taken a new shape. So Ethereum is not the only chain which you'll build upon. You'll have your rollups, which are primarily L2s, L3s, and app chains you can build upon. So scaling your solution beyond Ethereum and other L1 chains is now possible. Now, what a rollup as a service might offer you. So usually rollups are like your own custom chains with its own ledger, but you still inherit the capability of the L1 chain, but by offering security, by offering scalability and decentralization. So, you know, time ago you have to create your own chain. You are spending 6 months, a lot of configuration, coding, forking a public chain's code and trying to create your own, and then launching a token, and then worry about decentralization. But when you create an L2 or an L3 chain or another app chain, you do not worry about decentralization. You do not have to code it. You just have to configure it, which is quite simple. You have modularity. So earlier, one chain has to do it all, transaction layer, the data availability layer, and the whole solution exists on one chain. And people were building solutions after solutions after solutions. So rollups came to rescue. And they're modular, which means you can plug in another data availability layer, you can plug in another settlement layer, you can plug in another transaction layer, and you can achieve a flexible environment to build the best which works best for you. Now, as a roll-up service provider or a tool, which is usually now known as RAS, there are several responsibilities. What I'm saying is very complex in terms of there are 20 tools which you have to bring along. Now, beyond these tools, you have integrations. One are, of course, storage solutions. I'll talk about them as well. Now, how do you bring them along? So you need a simple solution to solve this complexity. So RAS exactly does that for you. Now, you have a lot of configurations to handle, be it token economics for your custom L2 or L3 chain, the gas-related configurations, and you may want account abstraction as well. Some chains offer it natively, so you can actually configure those things. A RAS provider or a platform would offer you these inputs, options to choose from the very beginning. Then you have a requirement of enterprise-grade node infrastructure, because it's not just that you decided to launch a chain, you want to run it for a very long run with highest quality and performance. So you need a tool, a platform, a provider which can offer you this enterprise-grade, high-performant infrastructure running your rollup or L2 chain. And then it has to be full stack. You just cannot launch a chain and not have an explorer for it. So you need a white-labeled branded explorer which you can run on top of your L2. While, of course, for settlement layers, which are usually the L1s, you have public explorers available. But for your own custom L2, you want your own explorer. And then comes the optimizations and the performance of how the transaction ecosystem would function, and the other elements would come together. And then you want full-time support, 24/7 support, 99.9% uptime guarantees, and proper SLAs. Because it's your chain, you want it to be as good as Ethereum. If real developers and assets are living on top of it, you do not want it to be compromised, go down for any moment at all. And I think we all know what happened to Linea recently. A dApp got hacked and then Linea was shut down. You don't want that to happen. So you want a proper RAS platform and provider to take care of how the infrastructure is run and maintained. And then, of course, when you build a chain, you build it for developers and ecosystem. So you need proper indexing tools. You need proper SDKs and libraries around it, which would fulfill the need of the developers and the ecosystem building on top of it. And one of them is data indexing and data storage. So you need all these integrations at the platform itself. You do not want to build them afterwards, but you want them from the very beginning. And then comes global coverage. So you're launching your chain, you just do not want to dump them into one data center, into one big machine somewhere. You want distributed network. So even if you're running, say, multiple nodes of your L2, L3, you want to distribute them properly. And then, of course, it's not just running. It's like a real operation 24/7. So you need a RAS platform which gives you alerts, notifications, and proactive monitoring system, managing all your chain transaction ecosystems, your sequencers, aggregators, synchronizers as well. And then, of course, production ready stack. So it comprises of pretty much everything I mentioned about. And beyond that, you would need migration assistant. So we have seen a lot of L1 chains in the recent past became L2s. And now when you go through that journey, you have your own token, you have your own validators, you want to onboard them on your new L2 chain. So it's quite a journey. So you need, again, a professional platform provider to help you assist through that journey. So this is pretty much on RAS. And as a RAS provider, we at ZV support pretty much all these stacks. If you're building your L3 rollup, you might choose any stack and build upon. So like I said, it has to be modular. So modularity is the genesis of this idea of being a RAS provider or a RAS platform. Now, moving ahead, I talked about integrations. Now, today the ecosystem is so wide and so aggressive at the same time that they want to build it all. I heard a fellow speakers mentioning that the world wants a lot many integrations, yet they are not enough. So we are also chasing the same thing, being a RAS provider, providing on these custom L2 chains, account abstraction, indexing, oracles, and storage tools integrated, which means when you launch your own custom chain, you do not have to run after manual development efforts. And of course, one of them includes Filecoin too. So the idea is to provide you the required tooling so that your chain adoption happens really quick after the launch. You do not want like the L1 ecosystem to cover for you, because that cannot cover for you. You are a custom chain. So the RAS provider and the platform is there to offer you those tooling, readily integrated, pick and choose and move on. So we kind of cover pretty much in all the segments, and we are aggressively increasing this coverage. This is Zeev. We've been in this space for a very long time. A team of 100 plus folks. I told you the number of stacks we do already. We have about like 40 plus large enterprises utilizing Zeev, and the coverage is, immense. We pretty much deliver a roll-up, another roll-up, and another roll-up every next week. The stack is enterprise ready. It pretty much offers every combination without you thinking of that. So I'll just skip this slide. This is too deep to be talked about. These are some of our customers who are already using the rollup as a service, and all those integrations along with it in different combinations. So pretty much every combination you can think of L2, L3, built on Polygon, OP, Arbitrum, Optimism, or Tezos, and other ecosystems we are providing for. And yes, we are pretty, like I said, old, so we are part of almost every organization and association out there, from the older generation to the newer generation in terms of the stacks. So this is quickly about what RAS tooling is and what we do. So in case you need to learn more, I have got these handy with me, and I can quickly share, and you can maybe take it away with you, and would love to connect with the teams.